Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to some more of this. I am kind of addicted to this Facebook group because there's just so much cool stuff to check out. It's front and rear end swaps again. This time we're not going to look at the featured and actually just look at what's new. Let's see what people are posting. So instantly we start off with this. A 180SX with a Nissan Cedric or Gloria front end. And I'm going to say it's a no from me. The thing is that it's quite a small car, and adding that just massive front end on it, just the lines of it, it's just so square and big, and it just instantly just looks far too big. It just does not work on that car at all. They've kind of made it a bit too weird looking. Yeah, not a fan of that one. But this next one is very cool because I know that a lot of people try to go for the older Stagias and go for the R34s. This is basically a newer Stagia with an R35 front end, and this one to me, I guess it's because you just don't see as many of them. This one is awesome. This one is awesome. The other one's cool, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's cool. This one is like, oh, that's cool. Do I have to explain my reasonings? I just think this is something that you see less of, and so I just think it's cooler. Very cool idea. I would like to see one of these with like a proper like R35 engine in it and everything else as well, but I like that. Very cool. Also, I think it's because that this one, although we don't have a picture of it, the rear end looks nicer than the older Stagias, so I think ultimately that the overall package just works better for me personally. Now this is an interesting one because it's not so much a front and rear end swap as a chassis swap thing, which again I'm big on. I absolutely love. This is a Skoda Octavia body on a Beetle floor pan, on a Beetle chassis, and I love that just in general, just that whole thing of, because it's essentially a Beetle underneath but looks like this. This is awesome. I would absolutely rock that. So cool. What is that with the roof as well? That's like proper like old school lowrider sort of painting. Like some people used to get like old lace and then spray over the lace. It's kind of got that vibe going with it as well. Very cool. Very cool. And also I love this color. You guys know, you've seen my videos. I like this color. This is, what is that? It's a BMW. But what is that? It's an Odivia front end. How have I never heard of this before? It's a Silvia, but it's got this different front end. I don't know if I like them. I don't hate them, but I don't know what to think. I think that grille just doesn't fit with the shape of that bumper. I think that's the thing, as well as like that bit of the arch doesn't really, it shows too much of the top part of the headlight enclosure, which I think makes it look a bit too, I mean, none of these bumpers line up. None of it lines up at all. And so it looks kind of odd and mismatched, and I'm not a fan. Next up, we have what looks like a Beetle from this angle, but as you can tell, absolutely not one. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. That it's too different. And that the two different, like, it's not just a car to another car. It's a Beetle into a big giant truck, and that just completely changes it. So it's on a 1983 Toyota 4x4 frame. So in its essence, it's an old Hilux, right? Just with a Beetle front end. Stunning. So this next one is an instantly recognizable set of rear lights. That is off a Mark IV Supra, put on a 73 Firebird. I mean, I don't know what the original looks like. Oh no, these are a classic. These are just an absolute classic, and they've turned it into, oh no. This bit of the spoiler and everything else, to me, really makes the back end of a Pontiac Firebird. I don't know what to think anymore because it's so weird. The light doesn't mix in with the shape here, and so none of it really fits. But this is cool. This is cool. I've seen these before in the past. So it's the front end of some places they call them the Honda City, right? Honda Orthia. Just put them on different EK Civics. I like this. I like the front end of the EK Civic, but there's so many of them. But this is the sort of thing where, because there are so many of them, I think it's cool to see variations like this, because it's nice to see something fresh and new rather than an old Firebird completely ruined with a set of Mark IV Super lights. But this I like. I like this a lot. And this as well. I prefer this one maybe a bit more. I mean, it's got its own style to it. It's got its own vibe with this one, but I do quite like how this one looks. This one looks a little friendlier. He's a little bit rounder in the face. This one's a little bit angular with these eyes. But I do like this. I think these are very cool because as much as I like the front end of an EK Civic, it's just fun to see something like this. Okay, this is a fun game. Toyota Celica 6th gen with something. Just with something. Okay, so the front end, I'm trying to pick out all these different bits. The headlights are obviously completely wrong. I think they're from a 6 Series BMW, potentially. I don't know my BMWs that well, but they do look BMW-ish. Wow. Okay, I kind of want to see... It looks like... I had to just run through my brain. It looks like you've taken a Lexus RSF, but it's like you've seen a picture of it briefly, and it's the only time you've ever seen a picture of it. And this is like what you think in your brain when you're thinking back later and you can't fully remember, and things are sort of mismatched. That's what I would describe this as. It does look like that. I mean, the light shape is sort of the same. I don't know what that's from, by the way. It could be anything. But it does have a very similar vibe as if someone looked at this picture once, completely forgot what it looked like, and then they were trying to remember it again, and then that's what they came up with. I have no clue what that is. If you guys know what they might be from, I'm completely stumped, but those front lights do look like they're from a BMW of some sort. Okay, scrolling down, both lights came from the Toyota Fortuner. Not what I expected at all. Not what I expected. Doesn't work. No. Oh, now we're talking. That kind of works. There's a little bit of an angle there. It's sort of pointing upward slightly. If that was flatter and smoother, I think that could work, but it's slightly not right fitting. But it doesn't look too out of place. It's like the perfect size. It fits into that little section there below the boot lid. So I actually don't mind that, although I think the execution looks a little bit wonky to me. Okay, this one looks silly. 07 Charger with a carburetted No. What? So, okay, this is the only picture that we've actually got because this is a screenshot from a post somewhere or other. The rear end, as you can see, that's a Charger, right? The front end is a 300C. But it has a carburetted engine from a Mazda B2200, which is an old pickup truck. So they've taken out the Charger engine, put this old Mazda 4-banger in there with an MX-5 5-speed gearbox, and what a mix of cars. It doesn't look good, obviously, because, I mean, the lines don't even match up. That is just the absolute epitome of, like, hillbilly redneck mechanics. It's just, wow. Okay.
BMW with a Corvette rear end. What the hell is this?
No way.
And it's like an old Asian dude driving. It's a fucking...
What's crazy about that is they've gone through putting that in, and yet the rest of the car, standard wheels, standard everything, the front end standard, there's no like crazy paint going on, they haven't done anything. They're just like, yeah, I'll take the rear end of a Corvette and stick the 530i badging on it as well. They're not even trying to make it say Corvette, they haven't put Corvette badging, it's literally just putting the BMW badging on, but with a Corvette rear end. That's fascinating.
It's a fucking BMW with a Corvette rear end.
Wow. I love I just want to get into the mind of the person who made it, and that alone fascinates me. Okay, here's a fun one. 180SX with the front grille from a Honda That's. I don't think it works, but I mean, it just doesn't fit right. It just doesn't really go. But I think that if the execution was better, or maybe it was like adjusted and made to fit properly, I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's from this. That's the mad thing. Like, they've just nicked that off of a Honda That's and just been like, yeah, We'll have that. Just stick it on my Sylvia. Okay, I've seen this before. EG Civic with FD lights. It's not been done well. It's the cuts and everything, and like you can see that paint has come off and it's just all rusty. That's probably where they've had like a bunch of filler and the filler's fallen off. It looks absolutely atrocious. That is a 0 out of 10. I don't even know why I'm giving out a 1. That's just a nothing. No way. No. Moving on. Okay, another EG Civic. This time, we've got the front and rear lights from an RSX. And again, it does not work. The Civic it can be messed with, but you really got to know where to mess with it. And it just doesn't mix in. I mean, like, if you tried to think of how these lights were originally designed to, like, line up with swatch lines and body lines and everything else like that, and then these have just been, like, plonked onto something and smoothed over completely. I mean, like, this bumper doesn't even reattach. It's just molded into the entirety of the rear side of this car. It's just molded together, and it just looks so weird. Yeah, they just doesn't work. Does not work. I tell you what, it's funny. In the previous video, we had the featured, and there was a good level generally. Now that I'm seeing just the feed, there is some fascinating stuff. It's a real mixed bag today. Okay, I'm going to end with this because I'm absolutely just reading this. 1992 Ferrari 456 with the facelift S14 front end, and it has a 13B rotary engine in it. I wish there was more pictures of this. I hope there are, because this is stunning. Okay, so I found his Instagram, and yeah, that's an old Ferrari with an S14. Fascinating. What an amazing mix. And yeah, it's got a 13B. Listen to that. I was kind of expecting the revs to go a little higher, but fair enough. Wow. Oh, got a bit of that turbo spool in there as well. Ooh, that is mad. What? This is one of the things, and this is why I really wished I had space. I would love to find... I don't know what the story with this is. I don't know if it's like a Ferrari that's had a front end smash and they've just bought it for the rear. I want to do something like this. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. Just the thought behind it, the fact that it's actually based on an actual Ferrari is stunning. It's also apparently this guy has an awesome Impreza as well. I don't normally get excited about Imprezas that often. That is awesome as well. Look at the tires on it. My word. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. I wished I had the time, space, and money to do this, because this is very cool. But yeah, we're going to leave it there. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.